Hi, I'm Daniel with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at and I'm going to show you how to install the Demco base plate kit on our 2024 GMC Canyon. When you're flat towing a vehicle, there's going to be 5 main components you're going to need. Now, starting here at the vehicle side, it's going to be the base plate. So that's going to be the device that connects directly to the frame of your vehicle that gives you attachment points for your tow bar. Now, your tow bar here is just going to be the in-between between that base plate and the hitch on your motorhome. Now, your next component is going to be your safety cables. And these are just going to be here in case of a catastrophic disconnect, just an extra precaution measure. Now, your next component is going to be your diode wiring. So this is going to make everything safe and legal. It's going to make your turn signals and brake lights visible while you're traveling down the highway. Now, lastly, you're going to need a braking system here. We have air brakes today, but this braking system will allow you to utilize your brakes and make your vehicle come to a stop. Some other components you're going to need for your GMC Canyon is going to be a battery disconnect, and you will need to disconnect your battery to get your vehicle into flat tow mode. Now, another thing you may need is going to be a charge line kit. So that's going to give your battery a trickle charge from your motorhome so you don't arrive to the campsite with your battery dead, and your braking system does rely on that battery, so you need that to stay charged as well. This is what the base plate's going to look like installed on your vehicle, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. It actually just takes the place of the existing tow hooks. So it's really not going to be that much different than your factory vehicle. Taking a closer look, it's got that matte black finish, which is scratch and corrosion resistant. And on the side here, it's got that hole, and that is going to be for your safety cables. And when you're ready to tow your vehicle, you can pull out the arm, and this will go in there. You can turn it until the holes line up on the sides here, and this side will connect to your tow bar. Now it comes with a clip. You just put through both of those holes and lock it in place. When deciding on what base plate you're going to need, it's a good idea to think about mounting your other components, like your 7-way plug here. What we had to do was we used a couple of brackets that we have here at etrailer, but if you want something that's a little easier, the Roadmaster base plate does have a mounting location, and it sticks through this grill here, and you can just mount it to that. If you decide to get this base plate for your flat tow setup, then please let us know how you like it, and let us know any tips or tricks you found if you install it yourself in a review or comment. Now, as far as the install goes, this is pretty straightforward. It's not too bad. You are removing the entire fascia, so if that's not something you have time for or the tools for, then please feel free to check out our dealer locator, and we can find a professional in your area to get this installed for you. Now, without further ado, let's get into the install. First off, I open the hood, and now I got a T15 Torx bit, and I'm going to take out these fasteners that are securing the front grille to the inside here. Now moving to the wheel well liner, there's going to be a lot more T15 fasteners that we'll have to remove. So I got an angle drill attachment. I'm just going to remove all these. There's going to be 4 fasteners that are closer to the ground behind the wheel over in this general area. And then coming over to the side, there's going to be 5 going up the wheel well liner here. So I'm going to take all these out as well. And this last one may be kind of difficult to get to. It's a little back there. Now I'll go to the passenger side and do the same thing to that wheel well liner, take all those fasteners out, and moving forward, anything I do to one side, we will be doing to the other. I went ahead and taped the seams we're going to be working with just so it protects the paint while we're dealing with the fascia. Now I'm going to take the carpet of this wheel well liner. I'm just going to pull this out. Really in there, so I'm going to pull back on this plastic piece. There's going to be a bracket inside. It's going to have 2 fasteners. They're both going to be T15s. I'll take my drill and get these out as well. It's a little difficult to see, but I'm going to use that same angled method to get these out. This is where those are located. I already loosened it up. Now I'm just going to pull it out. It's going to be 2 in there. Now we need to get this fender off, so I'm just going to start at the bottom and I'm going to pull out. And this first one can be very difficult. All right, once you get it out, so you can see it was this fastener here, and it did come out, so I will need to get that out and put it back in here. And I took that fastener out of the bottom. I'm going to take that 8mm socket, I'm going to put that over it on the inside for the rest of these, and then I'll depress the edges, allowing this to come out more easily. Once you've got it to this point, I'm going to use some shop towels, stick it in here so that I can hold it out. And there's going to be another fastener that's attaching this fascia piece to the rest of your vehicle, and it's going to be another T15, and it's going to be right there. Now on this vehicle today, I'm guessing it fell out because we don't have it, but that's where you want to take it out. On the passenger side, there's going to be a plug. I'm just going to use a trim panel tool and get this taken out. And now I'll unplug this. I'll just pull down on the red tab, press down, and get that disconnected. Behind the front fascia, there's going to be 2 bolts in this groove here. I'm going to use a 10mm socket and an extension and take these both out. And if you can't fish that bolt out of there, no need to worry because we're already taking the fascia off, so we'll get those after. Up under the vehicle, there's going to be 6 more T15 fasteners. I'll get these all removed. We can now get this fascia removed. I'm going to start on one side and get this pulled out. Now this has proven to be pretty difficult, so I got a trim panel tool. I'm going to pull this out. I can see where I can depress the tab. Just a black tab holding it in. Now I got Scott over there helping me, and we're going to just work it and get this taken off. And we got it pulled off, and there is another wire harness on the passenger side. And you just want to push back on this red tab, push it down, and this should come out. When you take the fascia off, some of these yellow tabs might stay behind. You're going to want to grab some pliers, and I'm just going to press on the backs and take these out. I'll put them on the corresponding spots on the fascia so we can put these back in later. Now use a 19mm socket and take these tow hooks off. Let's take these off and put them to the side. Now I'm going to grab our pull pod, as the instructions call it. This is really what's going to connect to your base plate or your tow bar. I'm going to slide this where our tow hook was. I'm going to use those same bolts that we just took out. I'm going to put those in the same spot where that tow hook was. Now I am going to put some blue Loctite, it does come with the kit, on both of these and all the hardware we use today. Get this lined up, and I'll put the nut on the back. Get this top one. I'm going to take this underbelly panel off. I'm going to use a 13mm socket. This will help us get more room for the side plates. So I'm going to take these series of bolts out. And this will come right down. Our side brackets are going to go on the sides of our arms. In this location, I'm going to put our hardware in first. It's going to be the longer 1/2-inch bolts. I'm going to put those both in, and they're going to line up with these 2 holes that are diagonal. So I'll get these. Make sure you're not pinching any wires on either side. Once done that, I'll grab the nylock nut and get those threaded on. And this side's going to be the same way. Just line these up. Get these pushed through. And I'll get our hardware on. Now we'll take the long bolts that come in the kit and I'll put them through both of the side brackets. I'll have the head of the bolt facing out the vehicle. And then I'll put the nylock nut on these as well. And the third long bolt is going to go through the top. So you may need to push it up just so you can get it through above the frame and through the other side. It's pretty tight back here, so do make sure you get it through both the side plates. Now we can tighten and torque everything down. I'm going to start here at those bolts that came from the tow hooks. I'll get these tightened snug down. Now I'll go through and tighten the rest of the hardware down. I am securing the nut with a 19mm wrench. Now I'll tighten the smaller bolts. I'm using a 14mm socket for these. Now we can torque down all of our hardware. Now these 2 factory bolts that came out of the spot that our tow hook was in, these aren't in the instructions on what to torque them. Now I just looked them up and got them that way. And if you don't have a torque wrench at home, you can usually rent one from your local auto parts store, or you can pick one up from us at eTrailer. On the 1/2-inch bolt that is closest to your front of your vehicle, that one's a little bit difficult to get a socket on, so I'm going to use a crow's foot to get this torqued down. Now we're going to install our safety cables. It comes with a quick link, and I'll put that on the hole on the back of the base plate here. It's a hole. And now I'll get this and go around our frame. Make sure you're not pinching any wires. And get both these through our quick link. And now I'll put this through the frame. Base plate. And get this tightened down. Now I'm just going to use 11/16 wrench and snug this down. And lastly, I'll just get all this slack zip tied just so this doesn't rattle back here. Now that we've got all of our flat tow components where we need them, we can tidy up all of our wiring and put our fascia back on the same way we took it off. Now is a look at our Demco base plate on our 2024 GMC Canyon. Thanks for watching.